Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to Sunday night. What did you guys do today? Did you have a good day? I hope you did. So this weekend we have not done any uploads or any edited videos. We are doing just live streams, and it's good though because I don't have a ton of time right now for the editing process, and I spent all day cleaning. So I was getting my house in shape, and while I was doing that, I was listening to some videos that were uploaded yesterday by a woman named Valeri, who is the cousin of Benji Travis, of Judy and Benji Travis of It's Judy Life. Now, if you're not familiar with It's Judy's Life, I can't say like, oh, shocking. A lot of people used to watch her. She used to do makeup. Now she's a family vlogger. She's based out of Seattle. She's got 1.75 million subscribers on her channel. And her family has, there it is, It's Judy Life. She used to have a separate channel called It's Judy Time. I'm not sure why she abandoned that channel 2 years ago and moved over to It's Judy Life. But there's two separate channels. It's Judy Time hasn't had anything on it since 2018, and she has sort of transitioned over to It's Judy Life now. So she's your typical clickbaity family vlogger. She's just had a little baby girl. She and her husband have 4 daughters. They have been on YouTube for a very long time. They're a family that's very interconnected. So Benji's family is very close to them, and his brother and sister and his parents have all been a part of this channel. And a couple years ago, his brother Julian sort of disappeared, and they didn't say anything. So Julian is his brother, and Julian and Amy had a channel called Adventures with AJ. And so that channel wasn't very big, 74,000 subscribers. The videos on this channel weren't incredible, but it had, you know, just your typical family vlog videos. So Julian was married to Amy. He and Amy have 2 boys. They are now divorced, and Julian is ordered by a court to stay away from his kids. Yes, that's correct. He can have no access to his children. So that's where this story starts. Well, not really. Where does the story start? Well, let's see. So Judy's, as you can see on her channel, this is a game changer. Will the baby hammock actually work? Married for 9 years. I completely regret it. Cry it out method, blah, 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 right? So this is the family, and I apologize, I don't know the kids' names because I don't want to, the kids aren't really the focus here. It really doesn't have anything to do with their children. It has to do with Judy and Benji. So they have a lot of subscribers, and I will admit, so this all came to me months ago, and I've known about this for a very long time. I've just been struggling with how to deliver this story in a way in which I can tell it to you so that you can understand it and really have to understand sort of the magnitude of what is going on here. Yes, what Julian did had nothing to do with him, but let's just talk here. So here's what's going on. Julian is her brother, and he used to appear on the channel. And Julian actually is convicted of RAPE, and he disappeared a few years ago, and he has not been featured on their channel. He spent 4 months in prison. He was let go early for good behavior and is accused of doing this to a family friend on Halloween night of 2015. So this apparently is not the first time that Julian has done this, because his cousin and his wife, his ex-wife, have also claimed that he did this to them. His ex-wife Amy has said that he repeatedly did this to her throughout their marriage, and Valeri alleges that he did this to her he did it to her at least once, but there were multiple times where he did things without her consent. So this is where it's going to get a little bit. So here's what happens. So he ends up going away, and I just want to show you something real quick. So I just want to show you that this is really, truly, really did happen. All the while, they've never said a thing about it on their YouTube. Okay. So here is, whoops. Why isn't this? I can't get this to move. This is so annoying. Okay, this is his conviction. He was actually convicted in 2017, and he entered a plea of guilty, and he took a plea deal. Okay, so he's also he's also a registered offender as well, and he has the offense date was November 1st. He actually was charged in March, and then he was it all came to head in 2017. And then he also has to register with the state of Washington as an offender. And so he was arrested and booked back in May of 2017. And Judy was close with his ex-wife. This is her, and this is the two of them. And then the girl that we're going to be talking about is Valeri. And this is Valeri up here. And so Valeri is the one that came out with the story. And then this is Valeri again. So this is Julian. Then in the blonde hair is his wife, his ex-wife, Amy. And then this is Valeri. So Valeri is their second cousin. Okay? So it's a very convoluted story. But here's how it goes. So Valeri is the second cousin of theirs. She is from Maine, and she had been friends with Mel, who is their sister. And they had been pen pals growing up. And they basically she came out to Seattle because she was thinking about moving out there. And she knew she had Mel and her family there. And so she went to go visit Mel. And during that visit, she says that's when she finally meets the rest of the family. They're not first cousins, they're second cousins. So obviously there's going to be family members here that she had never met before, including Julian. She had met Benji before, but she didn't have any sort of relationship with him, and that's Judy's husband. But Valeri ends up moving from Maine all the way over to Seattle, and she was actually their nanny. So Valeri was on their channel a lot, and she was the kids' nannies on It's Judy Time for a year and a half. So she says the very first time she ever met Julian, they went out to this show. Afterwards, they had stayed at a hotel, and while she was asleep, he did some things to her. And then she says that it wasn't anything full. It was like he tried to up here and on the bottom, okay? And then she says that she was very shocked because it happened while she was sleeping. She couldn't really say no because she was sleeping, but he left as soon as she sort of tensed up, and he goes. She ended up moving out there, and she ended up moving in with Mel, so his sister and Benji's sister. And then she starts working for Judy and Benji as the nanny for their 3 daughters at the time. She becomes very close to Judy. She also is very close to Benji, and she's also very close to Mel, along with Amy, who is Julian's wife. And she also says she was very close to Julian. Now, the problem here is that Julian seemed to feel like he got away with something when he did that to her while she's sleeping, she alleges, and that he started to do things more and more, okay? So Love and Heart says, I'm targeting someone. I'm not targeting anyone. I'm literally just telling you what's going on. You don't even know what my opinion is at this point, okay? So she says she uploaded 3 videos yesterday on her channel, Valeri Damaris, or I don't even know how to pronounce her last name. But she did 3 separate videos about them. And she says that not only did this one time happen when they first met, but another thing happened when she was with them, and they were going to go out to a party and go dancing. And she says that she's given some sort of pill that she believes was Molly, but it turned out it wasn't. And that she says she enters this weird sort of world of like unconsciousness, okay? So here's how it all plays out. So she says that this night happens. Amy stays at home because she has just had a baby. She goes out with Julian. They're all planning to take Molly, but instead is given this pill by him, which she believes after the fact turned out to be ketamine. And she says that she ended up in a K-hole. And during the time when she was in a K-hole, she was in and out of consciousness, but aware enough to know that Julian SA'd her a lot. And so much so that she said that she was so physically hurt by it, she had to sit with like ice packs on her legs for 2 days following. She did not report it because she was very confused by the fact. She didn't have full memory. She was afraid of not being believed. She was afraid of reporting a family member. She was disgusted by it. She didn't really understand it. Her videos are she has 3 full parts, so she details all of it. So if you want to watch it, I have included a link in the description. It's also very graphic and extremely trigger warning, and I don't want to like trigger too many people, but so she says that she sort of stuffs it down, and then a few months later, they have a Halloween party, which there's videos on his channel of a Halloween party that same year, which was attended by Judy and her husband, and they say that they go home and then they have a family friend that spends the night, and he does the same thing to the family friend, except the family friend actually reports him. So the family friend ends up reporting him to the police, and he is subsequently arrested, and he's convicted, and he takes a plea deal, I guess. And she says that it was at that point Valeri said she finally felt like she could have some peace because he was put away. Unfortunately, she says that he did not stay long, and they let him out early. Okay. So anyways, this all happened a long time ago, but Valeri and Amy are just speaking out now. So Valeri ends up breaking her silence and naming Julian public in December of 2019. And then Amy, his ex-wife, they get divorced, and she comes out the same year and says that Julian also did these things to her during their marriage repeatedly. And she also alleges that he did this to their son, and that he failed a polygraph test once they did an investigation related to the son, but unfortunately they dropped it for insufficient evidence. So those are kind of the details. Now, she is upset. Valeri is upset because she says that she hates Julian, and Julian is now sort of living his life out on Instagram and doing his own thing. And Julian is being financially supported by Judy and Benji. She says that and his ex-wife has also said this. So Judy says, or she says, let me show you here. So she says that Judy has this brand of robes for empowering women. And Valeri alleges that Judy has completely ghosted her, and she alleges that Judy has completely ghosted her, and that she is not empowering the women in her life, because the women in her life that need empowerment, her and her ex-sister-in-law, have been ghosted by Judy. So I have a clip from the video that I just want to show you. And we'll do it right here, where she'll tell a bit of what she has to say.
Business venture that you and Judy, Benji and Judy have done. Within this, you started to claim that your robes and you are empowering women, which is a huge slap in the face. And you sent out all of these empowering women robes to people, influencers, so they could have them. I didn't get one. Amy didn't get one. I'm not saying I want one, because frankly I don't. I have my own robe that I bought. I have my own robe. I'm not saying I want one, but you're claiming to empower women through this line of robes that you've released. But you don't even think to send it out to the women directly in your lives who could use a little empowering. And so this is the part that makes me mad. Because you're choosing to stay silent on a matter that is so close to home. You now have 4 girls. You donate to human trafficking charities. You claim to be empowering women with your robes, but you're not even checking in with the people, with the women in your lives who have been assaulted, who have been abused, who have been manipulated, who have been raped. We've just been, is whether or not we're in each other's lives. I almost don't really care anymore. But you don't get to monetize off of women's issues that you don't actually support. You don't get to make money saying that you're empowering women when you haven't put in any effort to actually stand with the women in your lives who are actually fighting for women's issues.
Okay, so there is her. Now there's a lot. There is a lot within this video. It's 3 hours. So she did 1 part, 2 part, and 3 parts. And the very end of part 3 is when she sort of addresses Judy and Benji. Now, she does say that Benji reached out to her and was supportive of her, and was like, she said she wrote notes because obviously it's a very long story and it's also a very emotional one. So she said she had notes so that she wouldn't lose track, and she was answering questions. So she had written down the questions that she had asked from people on Instagram. There were a lot of rumors. One of the rumors that she addressed was there was some speculation on Reddit and on online forums that she had been paid off to stay silent by Judy and Benji, and she completely denied that and said that's not true. But she seemed to be the most frustrated that when everything came out, she says in December of 2019, she finally names him publicly after talking about it online, but not actually saying who the person was. And she made the point, she said, to say, this is who did this to me. She named Julian as the person. And she said that Benji had reached out to her at that time and said, hey, maybe we could do something on our channels, although our channels aren't really about this, so it would be really weird. So I don't really know. We just wanted to see how you're doing. And she says that it felt more like they were worried about their brand. And she says that since that happened in December of 2019, she has not heard from him other than she got a message about their gender reveal where she found out that they were having a daughter. And she was the nanny of the children for 3 years. She said since she has publicly named Julian and Judy knows that Judy has not reached out to her a single time. She and Judy were very close. She said she loved Judy. She worked for her for a year and a half. She helped raise their kids for a year and a half. And she says that Judy and Benji have essentially ghosted her along with Amy. So his ex-wife Amy has the very same story. So Amy also says that Julian did these things to her along with their son. So she says that he was investigated for what he did to his son. They didn't move forward with any sort of charges, but there is now an order from the court where Julian cannot see his children anymore. So he's barred from his spending any time with his children. The last time he saw his children was when his little boy came home and told his mommy about what happened, and so now he doesn't get to see his kids. So Benji and Judy effectively, from Amy's point of view, she was very close to Judy. She says that she's not only been cut off, but they've been cut off from the kids. So Judy and Benji are not being there for their nephews. His entire side of the family isn't doing anything for the nephews. But what's really affecting everything is that Julian was released and he ends up going to prison for 4 months and he gets out early. And Julian has 2 boys that he cannot see anymore. But he is now around 4 girls that his brother Benji has. And Amy, his ex-wife, says that Julian is still very much involved in Judy's life and in Benji's life. And that their channel is effectively supporting Julian. And that they have completely abandoned the women in his life that he did the things to, and instead are supporting Julian, and they're not like being there for the women that he did this to. And she says that Julian is being paid by doing odd jobs, that he is receiving financial incentive to he's doing work with their cameraman. So the person that does all of their videography, Julian is also doing work for, and he also has kids. Amy has gone out of her way to try to alert people about what he has done to their son, and people in their lives don't seem to care. And the family, while Judy and Benji are in the middle of all of this, it's a precarious situation. I mean, they haven't done anything wrong. They're not the ones that did this. It's Julian. So in one sense, what are you supposed to do if you're Judy and Benji? You know, he is their brother. So, and this is now an ex-wife. So Amy has no relation to them. But the fact that it's a cousin that they've cut out is kind of odd to me. But the fact that Chris the camera guy does not have kids. Okay. So Chris the camera guy does work for him. But they say that Julian, while he's not appearing on the show anymore or on the vlogs, he's around them all the time. And that there's multiple people, Valeri, Amy, the son, the woman that he did this to, but they believe there are a ton of other women that Julian has done this to. Valeri and Amy believe that Julian is still doing this to other women. Valeri says that she reached out to his current girlfriend, who says that he has changed so much. Valeri said that he told her that he has found Jesus, so that means he's not doing this anymore. So she says, Valeri and Amy say they're enabling him by continuing to financially support him and providing him a way to have access to people that he shouldn't have access to. They don't believe he should have access to children. He is registered. He has all these different things going on. And, you know, fans are not being told about it. So Judy and her husband have never addressed this publicly. He just disappeared. They didn't tell their subscribers what happened to Julian. There's been nothing publicly said about Julian. There's been nothing publicly said about their divorce. There's been nothing. They have not said anything about him not being able to see his kids. It's like they disappeared. And they're deleting comments. So when Valeri came out and when Amy came out this past fall, they have been deleting comments. They refuse to answer questions. They will not say anything publicly, which is their right. But the question is that can a subscriber who is coming to Judy for woman empowerment feel confident in following her, knowing that she has two women in her life that were very close to her, that had things done to them that were very harmful, and she wasn't there for them? That's a question. That's a complex question, and some subscribers are extremely frustrated and they're very angry, and they are like, "Why are you supporting Julian? Why are you financially supporting him? Why did you abandon these women? Why aren't you seeing your nephews? Why are you ignoring this? Why is your brand more important than people knowing the truth about what's going on in our family?" So they cut ties with Val. Terry says, "I can't blame Judy. I don't think she wants to bring that to the channel, which is why they stopped showing him on the channel." And Rector says, "While they love their brother, I think they'd be more worried about the kids than their grown brother. He's an adult. You'd think the kid's safety would come first." So the concern here is, I am not saying that they don't even acknowledge yet. So the concern here is not that, you know, anyone should be canceling Judy. The concern here is that Vala's family, Amy's family, and well, Amy's children are family, and there's family members here that have been effectively like boxed out because what they know could hurt the brand. They feel that they are being silenced and being put in a position where they can't speak out because the family doesn't want to hurt their sponsorships, doesn't want their, you know, they don't want their subscribers to know, because if their subscribers knew about Julian, they might not subscribe. If their subscribers knew that Judy wasn't supporting other women and instead was supporting a convicted rapist, it's kind of a contradictory statement to be supporting in women empowerment and human trafficking, but then also in the same breath providing financial resources to someone who is doing these things. So Amy and Julian used to have a YouTube. They have not uploaded anything. The minor children for sure need to be protected first. So from my perspective, I am not coming at this from a place of Judy is the worst person ever. It's more like, this is what Valeri says. This is what Amy says. It's already documented what Julian has done. What do subscribers do? And when they're not being transparent about it, and when they're financially supporting this guy and also allowing him around their children who are featured on their vlogs, how does that affect the subscribers' feelings, right? Some people are unsubscribing. Some people are tuning out. Some people can no longer support the family because of what they've learned. Other people are like, Judy is not involved. And see, this has always been my issue. Judy didn't do anything wrong. She didn't. She's not the one that's been convicted, nor did Benji. So it's just this really weird place that they exist. Judy is as bad if she let her children around him, so is Benji. She should have addressed it and cleared the air. I feel like if they would just say what happened and then just got it all out there, and then they wouldn't have all of this speculation, you know? But the glaring hypocrisy of empowering women while not supporting the women in your life that your brother did this to is odd to me. And it wouldn't be the first time something like this happened. I'm sure she's doing this to support her brother, 100%, or to support her husband. And it's a precarious situation for the brother to be in. But I will tell you from our own experience, our family, we have a family member who has the same stuff on his record as Julian. And guess what my family doesn't do? We don't associate with that family member. So you don't have to associate with family members that are doing those things and that are on registries. We do not allow that family member near us. We don't allow our son near that family member. We don't associate with that family member because our son's priority is more important and we just don't want to be around it. So from my perspective, I can't even understand or fathom because we have cut out my husband's half brother. So we have this direct experience. I cannot imagine allowing my husband's half brother into my home and financially supporting him. I would not. We don't do that. We have not spoken to him in years. So I don't know. They do give Julian odd jobs around the house. They're supporting him, which makes them just as bad, says Chantel. Okay. So this is a heavy topic, and obviously there is so much here. He's a tier 1, so I don't know what the ramifications are. And they don't even have a registry that you can look for public tier 1 in the state of Washington. So you actually can't even find his name on a registry because he's considered the lowest level, which is ridiculous because he's had 1 conviction and 2 people accuse him. I don't even understand this. But they are assured that he is still doing this right now and he's still in Judy and Benji's life, that he is actively doing these things to people. That's what they believe. They don't believe he's changed. They don't believe that he has learned anything at all. Okay. Nancy says, your video title is bang on. She definitely does not support women. They have been actively suppressing the information for the last year or 2 and are very concerning. Julian is quietly enabled. Okay. So, it's not easy, Terry, to have a family member that's done something like this. It's actually very jarring when you learn about it. I learned about it when my husband, when we had been dating for 6 months, and the first time I met my brother-in-law was at our wedding right after he was released. And then as soon as we had our son, we cut off contact, and we were like, we saw him at our wedding because we had to invite him because his mom was very close to him. And we have not seen him since his mom passed away like 4 or 5 years ago. So we don't have any contact with him or interest to have contact because he does not have remorse for what he did. Okay. A lot of people are unsubscribing, and I can just say, yeah, you might want to rewind. It's a very convoluted story. But yeah, so I can just say that, like, from my experience, I can't, and I've been in her position, we would never, my husband and I would never support his brother, period. We supported his victim, and we did a lot for her, tons, but we did not support his brother. And that's what they should be doing. They should be supporting the cousin, and they should be supporting the ex-wife and the children, in my opinion. Now, I don't watch her, so this is not my opinion, and this is not my place to make this up. You can decide how you feel if you are a viewer of hers. Check out Valerie's videos. I've also linked Amy's Instagram. Amy has shared a ton about what she's gone through. And I've also reached out to Valerie privately on Instagram to see if she was, potentially interested in talking more. I am a survivor, And I will say that she talks a lot about healing, which I think if you're a survivor, you'll listen to Valeri and you'll be like, oh yeah. I was cleaning today and I was listening to the videos, and she talked about disassociating, and you feel like you're outside of your body and you can talk about things because you don't feel like it happened to you. It's Judy Life says, we do not support him at all. He does not get financial help or other support from us. We have completely cut ties with him. Okay, Judy. But that's not what Valeri and Amy say. So Judy says she has completely cut ties with him. Welcome to my chat. Again, I am not here to judge. I am just here to share what Valeri has said. And Valeri and Amy say that you are still supporting her throughout jobs. So Judy, if you would like to speak, please DM me. I would love to talk with you about this. I am not here to hurt your family by any means. We have not shared this because this is a matter we wanted to keep private out of the respect for our family. However, we do not support abusers whatsoever. Okay. So Judy says she does not support him at all. Do you still have any sort of... Why would you delete that, Katie? That should not have been deleted. I'm sorry, Judy. That should not have been deleted. Do you have contact with Amy and with Val? Because they're feeling like they've been completely ghosted and they are not feeling like they've been supported. I think that's a brand new moderator. I'm sure she deleted that by accident. It was not done on purpose, you guys. Katie, you should not have deleted that comment. This is Judy. We have to respect her. I don't care about that word if Judy is in my chat. No, Katie accidentally deleted it. Either way, Judy says that she has not spoken publicly because she wants to respect the privacy of her family. So you can decide, Judy, if you'd like to talk privately. You are welcome to contact me. I am more than happy to hear your side of the story. I'm not here to drag anyone. I am simply sharing what Valeri put out there. I do hope your family is okay, and I hope you guys have a great night. Bye, guys.